fucking say Mayberry as it relates to theft. See what that shit mean.
It's a small town, perfect place. We don't have that.
But what you mean though? DC
She said we
is a
don't
small
have
town.
any Mayberries anymore. We don't have a perfect place to live. You could just, nothing's not going to happen.
But that still don't mean people shouldn't feel bad about it, right? That's why I said is she wrong or right for being sarcastic?
But that was like,
Should she
it's
as
like
a
she being a real
leader?
life asshole on that shit.
That's what I'm saying. Should she as a
We
leader?
don't have Mayberries no more, so stop leaving your keys. But if you got a lot of stuff going on, people are humans. Things happen. You shouldn't feel like.
Oh, so basically people shouldn't valet park no more then. If that's what you're saying. Because that's what it sounds like she's saying. Don't valet park anymore.
Don't park at all.
Hello. How are you?
I'm
Good
good.
afternoon.
And
Good
you?
morning. And thank you for listening to another episode of MTMJ Podcast with the wife.
Oh, you was really
Episode
starting it like that?
114. Was it
Oh,
113? 114.
14.
Yeah, 114. So um pardon my interruption while I apologize to everybody who wasn't able to listen to the podcast on Apple Podcasts for the last week and a half. At first I thought it was us, but it seems as if Apple Podcasts was having some issues over the last week and a half. So I guess when the big podcasts come back from vacation, they fix their issues.
They don't like the little people.
Because as soon as Joe and them got back, my podcast have magically appeared for the last two
They don't like the little people.
episodes. And I was working behind the scenes to try to figure it out. And yeah. So we back on Apple Podcasts, man. And that is that. How was your week, babe? First,
Really?
First, subscribe wherever you can subscribe.
Like,
Like,
share, comment.
the podcast is available on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Twitter,
All the platforms.
all the platforms. Rate and review and share the
And you can
podcast.
hear the shenanigans.
Yeah.
Again.
Yeah. And I appreciate everybody
But
that's been engaged in the
yes,
podcast.
I don't know what it is. If it, tickled some fancies, got people in an uproar, but they're rekindling friendships.
Yeah, it got a lot of people thinking.
Got a lot of little, input and stuff, and yeah, people not taking ownership. It was some good feedback. I like that. I like that engagement though.
Yeah.
I do. I like that part.
That's
Cool.
That's one of the important things is getting engagement, at least so you can tell that people are actually listening and folks are actually watching. A couple of people thought I was talking about them so much to the point that they reported me to Facebook. How you gonna report me to Facebook
Salty.
because I'm saying your friendship is some shit?
Salty. You gonna report me?
Sense.
Reach out. Let's talk about it.
Oh, yeah.
Let's have that conversation because the comments, it was some comments that was like, did you actually like listen? And then there was some comments, everybody got it's everybody's opinion, which is good. The good, the bad. It's good to have that engagement to know, how people really feel. And there are people that are out here that really feel like as a friend what they're doing isn't wrong if it's not brought to their attention type thing. So
we got so much. Why you look like that?
He was burnt.
Yeah, we got so much engagement that I think I'm gonna read some of the stuff and just give you an idea how people feel about rekindling friendships. And so much to the point that I ain't gonna say we debated a little bit, but everybody, you back, boo.
He got a hornet that won't leave the window.
Yeah, he watching the pod.
That's the disrespect. but it's cool.
Come on, producer. How we gonna
So we
start
gonna
it
get
first?
into from our thoughts. We just gonna go ahead and real. Come on, man. This is shenanigans.
Is this some?
Oh,
It ain't nothing you gotta listen to. I read it.
okay, what the other one?
Ain't nothing you gotta listen to, babe. Come on, producer.
Oh shoot! I don't
All right, we're gonna
fire.
start with local news. Couple files lawsuit after finding hidden cameras in this Silver Spring Airbnb. So look, when we rented an Airbnb a few years back, we walked around the property and saw several cameras.
But that was outside the property.
I do believe, right, that it is an invasion of privacy when you put God, my voice sound deep, right? Anyway, I do think it's an invasion of privacy when you start putting cameras in places where cameras shouldn't be at. But do you really believe that the person can feel traumatized after finding that they had multiple intimate moments, and then they found that it was a camera in a smoke detector over top of the bed?
Yeah, because they watching. They can sell it on a dark web. Ain't it what it is? On
Yeah.
the dark web, it can resurface out of nowhere. Like, yeah. And then what if you wasn't doing your best?
Do you know the person who owns this B&B, where they filed a lawsuit against the person that owned this Airbnb, and during the lawsuit, right, they reached out to the owner of the Airbnb, and he said it's a possibility they could have put the cameras inside the house.
Oh, he flipping it. He said, reverse, reverse.
I'm gonna be honest with you. If she found cameras in that in an Airbnb that we was in and we tearing some ass up, we the moment we
Send
found
my
one,
chat.
the moment we found one, I swear to God, we're gonna put on the best performance we ever did in our lives.
Send me my chat.
I swear, ain't ain't no ill will or nothing. But I promise you, if we find that goddamn tape online, you best believe we're gonna file an injunction, and we
Oh
want our
man.
money. If you,
Oh
whatever you
man.
said, because you after a few days, I'm
I
I
put on.
hey listen, you better share. You better share that money, buddy. She said, I definitely have
That you
had
better
many
shit.
crying sessions about it. She said, now I know sometimes people can go a little overboard as far as their emotions and how they react to things. But I don't feel like if you was to survey a large majority of the world, they would feel the way she feels about finding out that they had cameras in the bathroom, cameras over the bed, and then they said they had a camera in the hallway, I believe. After like once they found one, they started looking for a bunch, and that's just how I was when I was walking around the property. Once I saw that one camera, I started walking around the property to see if I see more cameras, and it never dawned on me to check inside the house and see if they had cameras in there, but I'm sure they did. That's the crazy part. I can also see where there is a invasion of
It's a
privacy,
regular, but you don't know
but
her
my thing
past,
is, yeah,
and
you don't,
that's why it could be real traumatic because you don't know her
yeah,
past, or know what she went through,
but
or
I'm speaking. I don't want to say speaking as a. I don't know what the word I'm trying to use to, but I don't want to be insensitive. I'm speaking. I'm only speaking from my own personal opinion. You know, I wouldn't be traumatized. I will feel a certain way, but I also understand when you start renting these people's properties, you got to also think about what they've been through. Because I've heard horror stories where folks rented out Airbnbs and they stole stuff, they destroyed people's homes. Folks had to put a lot of money into cleaning up messes that folks
hmm.
didn't clean up. But you also, you know, you got to understand what you're getting yourself into when you start renting out your home as an Airbnb.
Yeah, but you have those who have it's a safety thing, and they don't also trust the people that's cleaning their location and things of that nature. So I mean,
And but you
it's
know
a
what
damned if you
crazy?
do, damned if you
They
don't. Protect
when
yourself at all
I
costs.
know Airbnb has advanced so far since we got one, but I know when we did get
They
one,
don't block me.
they had they had fees that were specific for certain things like cleaning. They had a fee for cleaning, um, and it was a small fee. I mean,
No, it ain't.
nah, now they charging a big fee. They
And they
want to
don't
check your
even
credit
clean.
history. Yeah,
Okay.
but apparently the Airbnb website has a cleaning company that they contract
They
for.
whack.
Yeah,
But that's
but I
unfortunate.
I know they filed a lawsuit, and I hope they figure things out. She said even at her own home, she's afraid. She looks around funny because she's afraid someone's going to know them based off the video that dude possibly could have put
Leak.
out there.
Oh, she was getting it. Hey,
Yeah,
Miss
I saw she was
Parker,
turned
Miss
up.
Parker.
That's her.
Oh yeah.
He probably wasn't doing much,
Oh yeah.
but her,
She was getting it. She was giving school teacher,
yeah,
and then she was a different
she
person each
bopping him
night.
off,
She was getting
and
it.
probably tied him down.
She probably had her eyes rolling in the back of her head, the tears coming out. Gawk gawk. Nah, I know.
All right,
Come on.
so in Arlington, Virginia, we spend a lot of time in Arlington County. This podcast, not us particularly. Security guard accidentally shoots self in the hand at DMV at the DMV.
How, Swift?
So that's why
How? Gun
that's why when
safety.
I was when I
How?
a few weeks ago, I pulled Carl into the podcast room and I told him I just worked with I showed him how to handle a gun and whether he's gonna remember what I said or not. But I said always ensure when you pull the clip out the gun, make sure the chamber is clear. I mean, cock that joint back and make sure that bullet comes out of there. Because there's no way. I think every night a security guard, police officer, anyone when you go to unholster your gun and put it inside your lockbox. I know some people probably keep it loaded just in case they've got to jump on somebody. But if you're not in one of those situations where you need to be doing it as a security guard, before you start your job and get things together, you need to make sure the safety's on. You need to make sure the chamber is clear before you do all all that stuff, dude. Because this man got charged
For shooting itself.
with discharging just
Unlawful discharge.
yeah, he definitely did. See, the guard identified as 29-year-old blah blah of Chevy Chase was charged with discharging a firearm in a public place and released on summons. So they released him on his own recognizance. I get it, but still, that's a charge, bro, and that's gonna affect your money.
That's gonna affect your license.
Yeah, man. Like gun safety is important, man. That's why, like, every time I go to put my gun on my hip, I make sure that the safety's on, so I don't push down on it and accidentally discharge the fucking gun.
You shoot your thigh off.
Yeah, you hear too many cases. You hear too many
Femur. Depends on where you
cases of
put it.
people shooting people by accident because they not using proper gun safety or they not being responsible for their weapon or they not utilizing all the training that they learn in whatever type of class they took, whether small or big. Once you get that license, it's still your responsibility to continue to learn about gun safety and using your gun and being responsible for your gun. Because no matter what it is, you are responsible for. When you get that license, they expect you to be uber responsible for the things that you do with that gun. There's no excuses. And if you f up, they're gonna hold you responsible, and you're gonna have to pay the crime or pay what is it? Whatever. Um,
So yeah, I got y'all punk ass mail right. The place I went to, they had the mediocre food, but the drinks was bomb. The drink was bomb.
Now, my
So,
question to that was: the DC Mayor Browse correct or foul for that opinion or that statement?
well, my thing is, you know all the crimes and stuff that's going on. You know how people are stealing things left and right. Valet people,
Yeah,
why
why
the
are you being
keys
so
on the
careless with
sidewalk?
people's?
Yeah, like careless. If you are doing valet for a restaurant, you should have a spot inside the restaurant to put them keys. Like you should not have it sitting out on the street and people watching. They're literally watching you, sitting across at the park, whatever. And now you're responsible for all these vehicles, man. And for her to say we don't have the Mayberry no more, like that's still yeah, we don't have the perfect land where you can leave your doors unlocked and different things of that nature. But people gotta be more careful. You gotta be more careful, especially when you are in permission and over top of other people's property.
Folks
Like,
just gotta be more responsible. Like you gotta. I ain't about to get ready to get pummeled for somebody else's keys.
but the fact that we pay you 25, $50 for the convenience of parking,
Yeah,
and you telling me you could not
yeah.
protect my keys to
Qu-
my 30,000,
question is,
$75,000 car?
if someone was to steal your car from the valet, the insurance company is going to consider that person that had your car at the time an uninsured motorist, and they're not going to claim
That's
that
going to ding
vehicle.
you.
Yeah, they're not gonna pay for it. That's the crazy part about it. These insurance companies now are losing so much money on car thefts that they're gonna use every small print they can
What
in
is the purpose
your
of insurance?
they're gonna use every small print they can in your contract
It's where they at when you
to
need them.
justify whether or not they're gonna insure your claim or not. So anything you can do to save yourself some money and protect yourself, do it. I, at this point now, when people want to jump in front of me and be all fast and speed and do all this, I just slow down and let them do it because the cost to trying to prevent them from doing it, if they hit me, it's gonna be mayhem. I was listening to someone right in class. You know this person, and she said someone they they stole her car from in front of her job. She had a Kia.
Mm.
They stole her car in front of her job. It took her 2 months for someone to even want to look at the car. And because they broke the window to get inside the car, it had been raining for those 2 months.
Ooh.
So the rain got all in her car.
Oh.
And when they did get around to fixing her car, they couldn't get the smell out that the rain left, the mildew
Mildew.
smell. So now she got this mildew smell.
It's gotta
Then
be
on top of
detailed.
that, the insurance company, which was Geico, said there were things they would fix
And they
and
went.
things they wouldn't fix. They didn't even care if all the issues that happened to this car was because of the person still in the car. It was things like, for instance, because so many Kias were getting stolen into, there were a lot of things on her car that was on back order. So she had to wait for this stuff. And in the process of her waiting, the people who had her car, they wasn't trying to make sure rain didn't get on it. They just had it sitting out.
Why?
Man, she said them jokers racked up $800 in tickets on her car. She started getting tickets in the mail. She said now her check engine light does never go off. Man, look, they messed her car up, and Geico is refusing to fix other things on the car that happened because the car was stolen. So when you start, the crazy part is, what is insurance for? What is car insurance for? If y'all are not gonna do what you're supposed to do when stuff happens, you spend
It's a
all this
ripoff.
money.
And then when you finally need to use your insurance,
Yeah, they can't help you. You can
it's an
go 2, 3
excuse.
years without actually using it. Don't pay them tons, I mean thousands of
Hundreds.
dollars. No, thousands. Because you
Hundreds,
can go years, is
thousands
what
of.
I'm saying.
Yeah.
And you don't pay them thousands of dollars, and then when you need to use it, they are finding every reason not to use, not to
Fix,
allow your
repair.
claim. It's crazy, though. But that's why I tell people, man, you gotta watch your 6, you gotta watch your 9, you gotta watch your 3, and you gotta watch the 12. And you just gotta make sure you take your.
360.
Yeah, you gotta watch your 12, man. And then, man, stop being so pressed to be out every night. It's just not
Amen.
important every night to be out and partying, and then you get out of sight, out of mind, get all drunk, and forget to watch your surroundings. And before you know, you get home, wake up the next morning, your car gone,
Well, you
or
ain't at
they
home.
carjacked you.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
part.
So it was a topic I thought about, the unfollow button, and when should you use it?
When should you unfollow somebody?
Yeah.
When you no longer, care to see their stuff pop up on your thread and stuff. Like, I mean, if it bothers you that much, if they post a lot, but if they don't post a lot, you rarely see anything or whatever. What's the point of snooping to go, you know, unfollow unless you really just got the time and don't want to follow them? I mean,
Instagram has created over the last year this least interaction with person.
yeah,
You didn't know that?
I don't pay none of that stuff anymore. I don't.
This specific space they have created for people that barely look at your stuff and aren't active on social media.
Hmm.
And that is where you can go and find out the people that claim to care about you, whether they are supporting you or they're not supporting you. I love looking at
Where
that.
that at?
I love looking at that.
Oh.
Yeah. And also that can mean, they're not active on social media. So that kind of helps you uh clear. Most times it's just, I honestly think, because some of them people I was seeing on there, I know they're active on social media. They're just not interacting with my page.
These people that's least interacting with me ain't even.
Yeah, so I but I say that to say is the unfollow button, can the unfollow button be hate?
Be hate.
And I say that is because, do you use the unfollow button because people are not supporting you? Or do you use the unfollow button because you hate that the people are not supporting you?
But I don't have no people like that. These are celebrities. It's interesting. What
That's
you was gonna
that's
say?
that's the crazy part. I was thinking about that, John. I use the unfollow button for a lot of reasons. I feel like my guy was telling me a while ago, he felt like this particular person was just posting nonsense, and he just got tired of seeing it because he was posting so much nonsense that Instagram was kind of like putting that top on the list of things that you need to see on social media. So he didn't unfollow the person, he muted it.
Okay.
So how do you think about the mute button? I think that is a good feature to have because you're still supporting the person. You're not losing a follower, because it looks like at this point, right, that social media values followers more than interaction. Because if you realize there are more things available to you when you have thousands of followers than having a
Interacting
few
with a couple
hundred
hundred.
interaction people
Mm.
you can interact with. And there's pros and cons to that. I say this to say because when I had thousands of followers on the business page, there were a lot of things that social media allowed for me to have access to. But once I gutted my business page because it was affecting the interaction, and at the end of the day, you're trying to sell a product. Those bots aren't
Mm.
going to help you grow your business. It's only going to get in the way. So at the end of the day, it starts becoming a negative, which prompted me to go on social media and research how many celebrity accounts have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of bots as followers. Me knowing what I know now, I think all those followers, it sound good, but when you grind and you work hard, it's more important to be engaged, having engagement followers than to just have people that ain't really bringing you no success. Because at the end of the day, when you start these business pages, you want to benefit from it. It don't make sense to just have a bunch of people on your social media that's bringing you no value. And when I figured that out, that's why I gutted the business page because it just don't make sense. And then when I look around the market and I'm going through and I see people be having okay, you be having like 25,000 followers, but your posts be doing like 3 and 4 views or 10 and 12 views. Like that don't make sense to me.
Yeah.
That like because you everyone starts a social media at some point to make a difference. It becomes fun, but you want to have value, and that's why like I like what my wife doing. When I go through her stuff, like I be looking, this is good stuff. Like I just text, her, I say, man, this thing gonna do this gonna do that. She know I'm like an algorithm whore, so I'd be like, man, this gonna do this gonna do that. But like it's more important to have people you can engage with, you can continue a conversation. There's value in relationships, and I just found that out recently because I'm not the biggest on networking, but like there's real value in relationships. Just me networking, I was able to 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 get connected with a lawyer. Also connect this lawyer to my podcast. And this is just off a conversation. Same with social media. I met so many great people on social media. I've been having lately so many great conversations based off of topics me and my wife have on social media.
But you
And
a vibe though.
and that interaction though, it drives you to want to continue to do this podcast stuff because that means people are listening to you. But if I got thousands of bots and no one to talk to, I've had those periods where, like, I was just telling my wife to start the pod. Like, I didn't used to want to share the pod with people because I was afraid of their reaction to the podcast. And you'll look at me, Big Mike, and be like, "Man, you afraid of something?" Yeah, man. Like, you don't think everybody gonna like what you
But that's
saying?
cool though. That's when you get. That's when you get that commentary. You get to have the debates, the
Yeah, the
healthy
conversation.
debates, the
You
conversations
know
and
what I
things.
mean? Because I never started this
Bonus.
platform. Yeah, I never started this platform or this podcast or doing it with my wife to just sitting here. Yeah, we talking basically to ourselves, but you want to understand when you
Nah, not the way we
interacting
be
with people.
talking. We're
It's
interacting with you guys.
yeah, we just want to make sure like we interacting and people are hearing us. Like like this is fun for me. Like it's becoming a routine. I'm starting to like I'm getting her into it. Like we get up and we get right to it. We putting work in. That's why like since me and her been together on this pod, we don't did like 60, 70 episodes. Like we've been really grinding, dog. Like seriously
I
grinding.
show up to work if I'm
And
not fired.
that's
I ain't
hate.
been fired in a while, y'all.
That's hate.
That's not hate.
That is hate.
That's facts.
Yeah, but I would tell anybody that got a business, man, like, find a way to clear the noise in your social media, man, so you can really see the value of just having genuine people to interact with. because they out there, but
Mhm.
it's so crowded right now with like people thinking it's so important to have thousands of followers just to get the benefits of Instagram and Facebook. But the reality is this you're not getting the benefits still because like there's no they still pay attention to your engagement. I mean, that's the biggest thing in business. You want to be able to engage. You want to be able to reach people. You want to be able to get that number one client or whatever you're trying to do to sell. Like even the guys that got millions of followers, yeah, they got 100 to 200,000 people that yearn for their content. Yeah, that's good. But for the smaller people that's on social media, we have to be engaging with the people that we follow because that's the only way we can break through the noise. And that's the title of this podcast, Break Through the Noise.
Yeah. Well, alrighty,
Yeah, man,
sir.
that's the only way we can break through the noise. I like when my mind works and I can actually get my thoughts out
Sound
without
good.
running into gaps and whatnot. But yeah, man, it's so important, man. That's why I always say, man, I'm always approachable. I can have a conversation about anything if you're willing to listen. But that's why it was so important for me to like cut a lot of the noise down on social media for myself so I can reach more genuine people that's willing to have a conversation with me too. So I
Instead of
thank you.
those.
I thank all the folks that's been vibing out with us, man, and kind of subscribing and kind of just following along this process because we really do be trying to find engaging topics to kind of like talk about. That way we can get a lot of feedback and a lot of conversation. And later on in the show, we'll read some of that stuff for you.
So
Anyway,
yeah, we know y'all don't want to hear nothing about it, but it's hilarious. Y'all girl, Carlee Russell Smollett. Hey, she was cheesing hard in that mug, in her mug shot. What's up with your girl? Like, clout chasing 101, she up there. She up there. Like, she wanted to get the attention. She got it. She got her 5 seconds of fame, baby. She got her 5 seconds of fame.
but you know what's so crazy about that situation? They're gonna treat her with so much care. She not gonna get we this case is gonna get seen only because of how how much people really went into trying to find her and help her. But she ain't gonna spend a day in jail, and I don't think she gonna pay a fine. The most fine she gonna pay is that freaking fine she paid to get out of jail. I get the feeling, and look, I truly think she was wrong, right? But in the moment when people are probably suffering like a meltdown or a mental health crisis, you just do not know what's going on in their head.
But to
Like,
go to that extent to get the
but
attention of somebody who,
but
like, that's kind of like creepy obsession type thing because I don't see myself if you said, babe, yeah, we need to take a break. We don't need to be together. I'm not gonna go out here to do things for you to like that make I don't that's why I said mental health is real. People's thought process and how they do things. th- to say first off the baby on the side of the road, like you had a full on plot, and then your search engine, like, come on, man. And then what if in the midst of all this and everything going on, what if something actually would have happened to her? You get what I'm saying?
I want to know where she was at while
That's what I'm
out
saying.
for two
She
days.
was eating cheeses
I
with a man.
can't. I can't wait to find out. I can't wait till discovery happens because we're gonna find out about discovery. And
She gonna have a whole little show.
once discovery comes out and kind of tells us all the information that we don't know now, I can't wait to hear it.
It's just selfish because you have actual people that are missing. You have people, kids and stuff that are actually missing. That all that extra work could have went into to help find those kids instead of your dumbass just in your fields because somebody don't want to be with you, so you gonna come and create a whole damn narrative and have all these people behind you back, even your parents
That's
Like
the
that's the crazy part. You got your family looking dumb because you out here on some.
that's the real question
Nah,
was who was aware
nah.
of this? Was the mom and father in on this? Because they did
Hey
that Good Morning
man,
America
did you see
interview.
the father face though?
Yeah, he didn't say anything, at least from the clip I saw. But they did that Good Morning American interview, and the mom was like, the interviewer in so many words asked, "Do you really believe that this happened?" And she was like, "Yes, I really believe my child was abducted, and I really felt like she fought for her life." And I was thinking to myself, did you not hear the story that police officer painted about the story that she told him? Do you think that sounds believable? I saw a 3-year-old baby on the road in a diaper. And then when I stepped out to go check on the baby, somebody came out the woods and dragged me to a trailer.
And they fed her
You see,
cheeses.
you see, they fed her cheeses and played in her hair. Come on, dude. When do you have when you getting kidnapped? Where do you have the time to take your wig off, leave your phone? Why would you leave your phone, first of all, if you were talking to the police and you were going to see about the baby?
Nah, she called her sister afterwards, and her sister said she heard her scream.
So
She said, "Let me put my good wig in a car."
she look at first I thought she was like super ugly. She's not an ugly girl. She just look a little crazy, especially in that mug shot.
She's given
She looked crazy as
obsession.
shit.
She's given obsession. Like real life, she's given. If they don't get her some help, she's gonna be at homeboy's house under his bed. Like she's giving real life. She ain't got it all. She ain't got it all. When it comes to like, you know how people say, if you leave me, can't nobody else have you. Type, if I can't have you, can't nobody else have you. That's the show on Tubi. I don't know why I was watching Tubi, but sheesh, these Tubi movies, okay. But when it comes down to it, you have people who really go by that. Look at it, like they really go by that stuff. Like they're obsessed with you. They don't want nobody else but you, so they're gonna go through the extreme. And it's not that serious. It's really not that serious. But she mental health, like I said, you don't know what's really going on in her head. But we know that Google helped her. And that is why you have situations of things that's happening in Memphis and the DOJ investigating them and the police force.
That's
Because
a
they are
year
here
too
on some,
late though.
huh?
I think that's a year too late. But
Is it ever too late?
I understand they've been probing or investigating that city for a while. But I hope whatever they uncover doesn't further hamper the job that actual good policing actually does in the United States because we need law and order. And right now we don't have it. And I was speaking to a police yesterday. That's the one thing about my job. I get to kind of, especially in the times we live in, I get to kind of pick pick his brain to help me out. And the stuff he be telling the stuff he be telling me, dog, I just don't want to talk about on the podcast. Because if the world really knew the type of shit we in right now, no one has a handle on it. He talked about the police chief, and he was like, the one thing we know about this lady that they hide now, she does not stay anywhere long. So there's a possibility that she is using this as a blueprint to get something better. So don't be surprised if we have another police chief in a year and a half from now, a year from now.
I'm gonna go be the police chief.
I,
Come here, Bowser. Let me fix your bob, and then give
I,
me the job.
I
Oh, I'm a
would also
rapper.
say, like, I understand that why it's so important for people to have, their education. But if you can, if you limit, like for instance, I'll tell you this. This is one thing I know I can. He wouldn't have a problem with me saying. So they read they and this is probably going to drive the audience a little bit, but for us DC residents, Maryland residents, Virginia residents, I think this is important information to know because the youngins now they have no discipline, right? So if they provoke an officer, and the officer goes and chases this person, and if he grabs them anywhere where it looks aggressive, the officer will be fined $10,000 and suspended.
Hmm?
So now the officer, I said not $10,
10,000.
not $20,
ten
not
thousand
not a
dollars
paycheck, not Dr. Paycheck.
for these little frickers that's out here doing
They're gonna
reckless ass
fine
stuff.
them 10 grand out of their pension. I don't know where the money's coming from. The 10, maybe maybe he was exaggerating a little bit. But being fined any amount for trying to do your job after someone provoked you is crazy to me. Like for instance, this one officer I met during the week last week told me that someone punched him in his face. He thought he broke his nose. And after he got assaulted, he went to grab at the person and then the person bit him on the leg twice.
And they still got teeth and stuff.
I told him, I said, bro, if I wanted to be a police officer now, you are not helping me want to be a police officer.
It's giving.
Because they incentivizing that police officers be brutally disrespected, physically harmed, and if you go to defend yourself, you're gonna take money out of my family's mouth just to justify
Man.
image.
It's given the same way that these youngsters is out here doing the carjacking and stuff for the older people, the adults, because they're gonna get lesser time, whatever. It's giving, hey young, come here, young blood. Wanna make some money? Get his ass. Because what? I can pay you $30 to beat his ass and save me from spending $10K for doing my job. Is that what
But
is this work
also
coming to?
now, when he told me this, I understand the behavior of some officers when they show up now.
Man,
And
like
it's
I don't
not
want to deal with it.
so at first I would get offended when an officer showed up to kind of I'm like, just do your job. But now I understand.
Doing my job is taking
Yeah.
food out of my family's mouth.
But I also told him I would prefer to have that type of conversation with an OG officer that has decades in the force than have it with somebody who just started within the last 5 years. Because you don't know what it was like for, like I was telling him about the jump outs. There was once upon a time, if they saw you doing some shit on the corner, they'd jump out on your ass. If they were looking for somebody and you fit the description, they jumping out on your ass. If you are in the area where a crime was committed and you with a group of hoodlums, they're jumping out on your ass. If you were in a stolen car and you thought you was gonna run from them, that Bronco was coming out of nowhere and they were jumping out on your ass. Now you don't know when the jump outs are coming out or if they even exist.
Or if they
Because
go and
chances
jump out.
are they don't defunded the jump outs. But right now, it looks like the jump outs are needed. Like for instance, the little boy that was getting chased on a motorcycle, right? He ran from the cops, and because the cop chased him, right? And I'm hearing this from the officer. I'm sure he wouldn't mind me saying this. Because that dude was driving recklessly and he chased him and he ended up dead, the officer now got arrested and is being charged with a second degree homicide.
But it's a
And he
no
lost his
chase.
job. Yeah, but this said hoodlum was involved in a crime.
But it's still.
It is chase.
it's
It's
still
chased
like,
if you in the commission of a felony.
what is the boundaries? Like,
It's no boundaries now. And look, at this point, there's no boundaries. Like you gotta
you
find
think
some
that,
way. No,
but
but you have to find some way to get control over these cities.
you can't when they so scared of what people gonna say or what they gonna do.
Man, there's still a few people that think, they don't care about that fine. Like if this is the community I live in, I want to make sure after I'm done with my tour of duty and I come home that my community that I live in is safe.
Right?
And that the people that I love in this community don't have to deal with hoodlums trying to take their car, trying to rob them, trying to carjack them. Same with the dude that was sleeping inside the car and the park police shot and killed him. You sitting in there with a gun and a stolen car, and the police are just telling you to stop, and you still driving with the police in the back of the car. What is he supposed to do? You get ready to dart out running from police with a police in your car. You crash this car and kill yourself. I don't want to die too.
That is true.
The hell? Because if your parent, I mean, if your parent or grandparent was in that position and they were the officer in the back of the car, you or I or anyone else will feel the same exact way.
Oh
Do
yeah.
what you got to do to make it home to
Make
us.
it, that's what it is. Make it home safe. But right now in the way life be lifing, I wanna go back to a child's place. Take me back. You know
Yeah,
how it used to be in that back in the day when your parents, grandparents, whatever, had company and stuff, and they be like, you sitting there, and they be like, bye, stay in a child's place. I want to go back there because right now, this ain't it. This is real ghetto, and what I miss about my childhood is being able to be free, like be a child, do things, and not have to worry about responsibilities outside of chores. Kids don't understand that nowadays. And now that we get back to the back to school time, it's
my,
really about to be some.
my grandmother used to always tell me, wait till you become an adult. You think it's fun now. But now that I'm an adult, I feel like I'm going through more than what she had to go through or what my parents had to go through. They ain't have to deal with all the stuff we dealing with as adults. Global warming,
Man,
COVID, the monkeypox, what else? COVID 2.0, what is it? The measles outbreak.
well, that was back then.
I'm
You
just
know, that's
saying.
why everybody
It's
got
just
that little prawn thing on their
it's just like we don't
shoulder.
we don't have to go we don't have to go through so much more.
We're in modern day slavery.
Yes, exactly.
um, so I be watching my shows, y'all, and some stuff just been sitting and like I've been watching Love and Marriage Huntsville and the co-parenting between Martell and Melody is just like, when do you draw a line for the sake of your kids? Like, my biggest thing is right now, you know how people be like, you're a hater or you.
I want to start here because this is the one part I was confused about before you get too deep into your thought, and this is why I told you to add this to the topic list. How do you have a party for your child, and regardless of your relationship with the child's father, not invite the child's father? And then tell when the father finds out that you're throwing this party, tell the father you wasn't invited. You could do something with your child when you get your child after their birthday. What how do you do that?
It's an easy fix type thing because it's all on the dynamic of you and that parent's relationship. But where I had an issue was is that yeah, she didn't invite him, but the child invited him. So now that's where things are different. Because if he'd have just showed up and I didn't invite you and the child didn't invite you, like, wait, where you get this information from? Of course, the other people there that are the friends.
So you telling
But
me you would have had a problem if he just showed up and the child didn't invite him?
If the child didn't invite him and he just showed up, yes, I would have had a problem because
Why?
the dynamic of the situation. It depends on the dynamic. Like if we have a situation where it's like you're stalking me and you're doing stuff to me and I don't feel comfortable and I don't feel safe, yeah, we have a problem. But
You're
if it
introducing something new into the situation.
it's how
Just
you ain't never watched the
I
show,
don't.
so you don't know.
But from my passing through, like
Your
I'm passing
passing
through a
through
city,
was not of
I
nothing.
felt like yes, I have. I felt like listen to me. Don't disrespect
You'll
my
blink of catching just that
my
part.
opinion. No, every time I come and watch your show, I sit around long enough to ask tons of questions.
So what you know
Now
about
tell these
Melody and
if
Martell?
I don't know shit,
Okay,
but
so
I
so
do remember. I do remember when they broke up to a
when
degree,
for what?
vaguely. I because it's cheating.
Uh,
Aha. Yeah.
Okay, but what?
Yeah. Yeah, y'all see
But
that face?
what?
I do also remember how messy their breakup was. It's aha. Yeah. I also remember he used to talk down to her too and basically treat her like shit. But she wasn't uh too too innocent herself either. I don't know, was she cheating
He
too?
crossing relationships. He crossing them. He crossing them.
Yeah, but I'm right.
Nah,
She don't want to admit it.
eh,
Sound like a
eh.
hater.
But where I'm hating at is all you single parents that have the week on, week off, every other weekend type thing with your kids. Yeah, y'all smell like earring backs because I live with my baby father and husband, and it's ghetto. I be wanting times where I can be like, yes, ain't no kids here this weekend, but I don't get that. So yeah, I'm hating on y'all for that aspect. But when it comes down to this situation,
How you be
the
hating that? I'm with the
daughter,
kids more than you are.
what?
Yeah, let's debate that. I'm with the
What
kids.
would the,
I'm with the kids more than you are.
because you're home during the daytime,
Exactly.
but they're asleep.
You don't know that.
You with them more than I am.
Yes, I am.
Oh, let's forget Love and Marriage Huntsville. It's the Johnson debate.
No,
So
I'm
yeah, what I'm
specifically
hating on
talking
is
about. Okay.
I can't come home on a Friday
No, I
and
don't
know
want this
that
to be a
kids
Johnson debate.
ain't gonna be home
Can we
and they don't
specifically
come back until Monday evening
can we
type
specifically
situation.
stay on
That's what I'm talking
what we
about.
on?
Yeah, I'm hating on that.
Don't make
Where
this about me. You ain't
where
hating on
every
that.
day I come home, they here because they live here
She
and
not
they ain't got
hating on
another
that.
parental home to
I
go
don't
to.
be I don't be hating on that. I love coming home. My car don't bother me. It's the daughter. It's the daughter. It's the daughter. The hell? It's the daughter. The hell is the straight up daughter.
But that's
It
what I'm
ain't no
saying.
other way to get past it. It's the daughter.
But that's what I'm saying. I need you to go get you a what they call it, a
A
bachelor
room.
pad,
A room.
a bachelor pad or
A room.
whatever somewhere,
Oh, we
and
need to
then
treat the house like it was when y'all had COVID. Oh boy. Oh man. That was
no,
a
I
story to
don't
tell.
even want to treat it like when we had COVID. I want you out of the house. Period.
I was out of the house.
No, you wasn't.
You couldn't come up here and see me.
Yeah, but I can still hear you
No, you couldn't.
and hear her. I don't want it. I don't want that. I want you to be gone. Shake on it.
I'm not shaking on that.
Dang. Okay. You want me to be great.
I can't go nowhere with what I've learned over the years, right? More power to the single parents, single fathers that do that every other weekend stuff. Because I'll start here, right? There's a process that I go through every day, right? But the process that you have to go through when you taking these kids outside the house, specifically when you got a girl and you got a boy. The one big thing I struggle with is the bathroom thing. Because I don't trust nobody. So if possible with me when we go somewhere, I'll take her into the men's bathroom with me so she can use the bathroom in there. And because my daughter isn't a regular 5-year old, she is having a conversation with me about why she's in the man's bathroom. And I'm telling her why, and she still's telling me, but I'm a girl. Why am I not in the girls' bathroom? So like it's a debate while we're trying to get her to use the bathroom.
See where I need time off.
But I worry when she has to go to the restroom by herself, even in her school. And that's just the protector in me. I know people are nasty. And I also know we live in an age where transgender men believe they can use the restroom with with the baddies instead of going in that bathroom with the men and whipping out just like we are at the urinal. No disrespect to y'all, but that is a worry for me, and I've seen it. I was in the bathroom with a female that is just me. I don't know if she transitioning or she just full blown just being that. I
Full
mean,
blown being what?
if she's gonna transition to the other part,
Transgender?
no, if she's gonna transition to being a full
That's
blown
still
man,
transgender. Even if you go from a man to a woman or a woman to a man.
yeah. But I had to look again while she was over there washing her hands. I'm sitting there trying to run this through my head. Like she got full blown titties.
Okay.
Sonya, make that make sense. They are
That's
the same creeps that
that's
you.
just like the men going in the women's room.
I honestly, you know why I don't think that's like the woman going in the men's room?
Well,
It's because women have stalls. Each stall they can go into and lock a door. In the men's bathroom,
it's
they
like
don't
two or
have the
three.
same amount of stalls. They got 2 or 3.
Right.
And if they full, you have a bathroom full of men in there with a female that most men aren't thinking, oh, because she's transitioning, she can still be forced on. Men,
Until she pull that rubber ducky out and bend your ass over. So figure it out.
but she's a female still with female strength is what I'm getting to. She can still be sexually assaulted. She can still
Mm-hmm.
be taken advantage of. She can still dude can still force himself on her. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like I thought that went away. Like I thought those laws where we share restrooms were like
No.
it did go away. That don't exist no more. I know it don't. I remember how petty they was at CVS for saying they put on the stalls. This is a sharing bathroom. I forget what they called it at the time, but that is my fear though. Like if you a man, I understand that you transitioning, but if they don't have those family restrooms, just for 2 seconds, think about the kids because they don't understand that. They don't understand that
But then
men.
that's where you had the parent and like you who go and check before you let her use the bathroom.
But even then, that comes into issue. Then people looking at you.
My daughter needs to use the restroom and you
Yeah, I
don't
need
want to
to
take her
check
to
the
the men, so
bathroom.
you check the bathroom.
Yeah, like even that when she come to work with me and she gotta go to the restroom, I'm standing near the door. And sometimes with the door propped open, if you
That's
got a
what you gotta
problem with it,
do.
you can see me.
That's what it
Because my
is.
baby in there.
Then that's what it is.
And while she talk trash and I know she can talk her battles, I'm here to fight her battles.
She gonna fight too.
The
So
devil
yeah.
is a lie. She ain't gonna fight me, she gonna fight whoever.
Yeah, I said she
And
gonna
we gonna be
fight
there
too.
together. The
Shorty
hell?
trained to
I
go.
think, I understand it and I'm not a homophobic or nothing like that. I just believe there's certain boundaries you know that need to be protected. Like
But that's
and
where
and,
you
and
set
that's
those
not and I
boundaries.
just think, sometimes people be like out of sight, out of mind. They just be free spirited. I understand you free spirited, but you can get free fucked. Straight like that.
Up.
That lady, she can get free fucked.
Up.
I ain't taking
Can
that
we
out
get
either.
back? Can we get back on what I was saying? So, when it comes to the dynamic of the co-parenting and things, this your week to have a kid, this his not his week, whatever. But in this
You ain't
particular
answer my question.
aspect, what?
Did you answer my question about whether he should be invited to their
That's
birthday
what I'm
party?
going
Oh,
to.
okay.
So when it comes to this dynamic and that aspect, she did not invite him because she rightfully didn't have to invite him because this is her week.
I just
And
don't
just because the
understand that.
child's birthday landed and was exactly on her week does not still mean that she
I
has
got
to.
one more question,
Can
and I'm
I answer the question first before you add more?
but this
The
is important.
child
This is important.
invited him. So in that aspect, I would have been like, okay, cool. Just so it doesn't bother the child, because at the end of the day, it's all about the kids. So if the kid invited him and then you put him out, don't you think that that's traumatic on the child or make the child wonder, like, why can't we coexist or different things in public places? That's all I'm saying with the situation. He could have easily sat on a whole different side or whatever. But she told him he had to leave and that he can get her later on that night because it still will be considered her birthday. Okay. He in turn, after the party and the daughter calls him to see if he was going to get her on her birthday because it's still her birthday, he then goes and say, "No, baby, I'm going to get you on Monday." That is a problem. Because now that looks like you didn't want the child to begin with or be with the child on her birthday to begin with. It was about me. So that's where I had a problem at with the situation. Because if it was about the child and that child told you to come, she told you to leave, but she called you, your child calls you, and it's still her birthday, and you say, "Oh no, I'm going to get you on another day." That's not my birthday. You said because it's my birthday, I should be there for my child's birthday. And for you not to want to be there all of a sudden because you could not be in my space and my present, that's a problem. And you don't see that as a problem?
So whose side you on?
Whose side I'm on when it comes to the situation?
The whole situation.
The whole situation, Melanie putting him out, I don't find that as a problem after that situation done aired.
So this is why I wanted to ask that question before you got to the end because I think I forgot.
Because I can see if he still was like, it's
Oh,
about
here
the
go the
kid.
question. I got the question. Does those same rules apply? Because you're applying rules as if he is just a baby daddy and they never had any sort of relation. So does those
She's the
same
ex-husband.
no listen to me. Does those because I let you talk. If you told me shut up and let me answer one question. Does those same rules apply to the man that is the ex-husband and not just someone that you had a baby with?
What you mean?
Those same rules that he doesn't have a right to show up at his daughter's birthday party. What if his daughter's birthday party at your house was going to be way more influential in my daughter's life than the party that or get together I could have had? Because what if she wanted these amount of people to show up at a party and all this love to be together and she wanted her father to experience that same love? Don't he have a right to have an invite?
It depends on the
Because he can
dynamic
be
of us.
because he can be a shitty dad. I mean, a shitty a husband or a shitty partner, but can be an awesome father.
But that's what I said. She could have said, "You can stay, but stay on that side."
And was there, and yeah, you're right. But also, don't she have the isn't her responsibility to put her emotions about her ex-husband aside for the betterment of her child?
It is.
That's
But
almost like the father who did so much bad to the mother and all she do is shits on him around the child.
but like I said, Michael,
Because it does sound like this
like I
without me
said,
watching, she does seem like that type of person.
like I said, she could have. let him stay, and he could have stayed on a whole nother side to interact with his children, because it was both of the kids, but it was only one child's actual birthday. He could have stayed and been on that opposite side to interact with them, and that had nothing to do with me. That's fine. But for the fact that I, she still told him to leave, and he received that call from his child. He received the call. And for you to tell your child you're not going to get them, how you think they make the child feel?
How did it, how did it make the child feel?
Well, they didn't show that part, but
Oh, I can't wait. We'll
it
talk
just
about it
showed
next week.
they didn't.
You
That
think they're
was
gonna?
next week. They didn't even talk about it at
Oh,
all.
that's crazy.
They
See, that's
just
another
saw.
thing
They
about the
just
show.
saw. She just showed. They did a good editing thing
I don't
because
like
she
it.
just played a recording of the child
I,
calling and him saying, "No, baby, I'm gonna
I,
get you on Monday."
I swear I hate that. I think there's so much um there's so much engagement in continuing that brief part of the story, because there could have been some stuff that happened in that moment that could have helped couples who probably struggle with that dynamic as it relates to being married at one point with kids and then not being married, and how you are still cordial with one another and still could do these type of celebrations with one another. But folks they want to publicize so much of this,
But you still have
that
to.
you don't see the good that comes out of a situation like that.
But when the situation entails the
Because they
court,
make you look like, it make you as the consumer think, oh, he a shitty person. And just like you said, he only went over there to just show her up. And it wasn't never about the child. When in reality, it could have been, but you would never know because they left that bit of information out.
because it says, why wouldn't you get her? Why didn't you say, okay, well, I'm on my way to come get you? But you got to also look at the situation. They're in court for custody of the kids, so
Who filed for custody, her or him?
they both did.
Oh,
So now,
see.
when it comes to the situation, still, when it's court ordered, he in violation.
Yeah, but it's not court ordered right now. So
It is. During the show, they was already in court, so that's her time. So she don't have to.
So currently, is what you saying is
During the show,
there is a
during the show, she
there's
has her
something in
weeks.
place where he has when he's supposed to have the child,
Yes,
and she has some. Oh, okay.
yes.
No, see,
So when it
then that's
comes
different,
to it,
dude. You violated your court order.
and it's just a
Okay,
simple fact.
you right.
You wasn't supposed to be there.
Ain't he a lawyer?
No,
No. Oh, okay. I don't know why I thought he a lawyer. He was a lawyer.
no. So when it comes down to it, she could have, if they themselves was on a good term, she could have said, "Yeah, court order says I'm supposed to have them, but we cool. You can sit over there." But because of their dynamic, it's never going to be like that. I don't see them ever being in a real
Hell
cordial
no.
place because
From
they
what I
tried
know,
it.
no.
They tried it. Even like they
Yeah.
did family trip,
Yeah.
and she didn't want it to seem awkward for the kids. She invited him to go on a family trip. And with inviting him, he eventually got to the point of overstepping. And then he in turns invites a whole nother couple that she ain't even cool. She wasn't even cool with like that at the time. Neither was he for real. So it's like he does some stuff that's just like give real female vibes of what he do.
Oh, so
But
he a hater.
it's just, he gonna do his thing, she gonna do her thing. But I really think if it wasn't for the show, and that's what a lot of people relationships and stuff, your relationship doesn't just go sour overnight. Stuff builds up. So you're aware of it. But once you become a public figure and you're a celebrity and there's cameras around, then it's like you get the courage to try to, do what you wanted to do before the cameras, but you didn't have these normal people who are like, oh girl, you stupid, you still with him, you still. That's what that was. Because I honestly believe if it wasn't for them being on this show, they'd still be together.
Hmm.
Because it went on for years. This ain't nothing new. It's just that now that we know, it's like I can't be out here looking stupid. Make sense?
Yep,
Yeah.
I get you.
Okay. And then when it comes to like the rekindling friendship thing or whatever, but what about the friends that's overstepping their boundaries? Because on the show, Tiffany, her nosy ass, is always overstepping. And there's a way that you can be vocal and opinionated, and then there's a way of you just being nosy and butting in on shit. Like I realized, I feel like Sheree, yeah, she pregnant, but she should have I'd have popped her because for you to say how does it feel to date a cheater, bitch, you cheated. And your husband that you with cheated. So you dating a cheater, you married a cheater. Like, what? And Sheree handled that so calm.
No, no.
Like,
Mhm.
Sheree handled that so calmly because she was like, I watched the show and you cheated, and then she just had to look. Like that's why I said when the editing and stuff comes in, because the question she was asking her, she was like, "You think your pussy's that good for him to stay?" Like what? Like come on now, seriously.
That's hate.
Like seriously, like you
That
don't,
is
and
hate.
this your first time meeting her, like actually having
That's
a
hate.
conversation with her, and this is stuff you gonna sit and talk about. Have you met Melody?
Folks be
You should
too.
meet
Folks be
her
too
before
vocal.
you get around the kids and stuff. Like she hanging with this man's kids.
Folks be
Like
entirely too
worry
vocal.
about your situation, sis. Like that stuff right there.
But you also
Yeah.
gotta look at the situation. For her to have made that statement, she must never been corrected.
No, and that's the thing. And so Marceau and Martell met up, well, she met up with them or whatever. And, Martell asked her, and Marceau was there. Marceau said, "You a Karen." He called her a Karen. And she was like, "Why?" Because I'm biracial. And it wasn't even about her being biracial, it was about you being in somebody's business. Like, worry about you and Lou and this daggone baby and how where you gonna be at when this baby? I really feel like they gonna have this child, and Luke will be stuck with the baby, and she's gonna be back out here trying to work and do stuff and try to find a place to be relevant. Because for them to be on the show, she's boring as hell. She ain't got nothing going, and Tiffany is annoying.
But
Like
I
she real life annoying. She's not a friend. She's nosy as fuck. Like real life
but
nosy.
I tell you this: if you think shows like Love and Hip Hop are getting washed down, and what's it, Basketball Wives is getting washed up, and Housewives of Atlanta is getting washed up, go watch what's the name of the show? Love and
Love and
Marriage
mercy,
Huntville.
but this the other one.
I promise you, from what I get to see when I'm passing through, it's a good show for the baddies to watch.
Not for the baddies. So when it comes to sticking by your spouse, you have your vows, thick and thin, rich or poor, sick or sickness and health and all that. Um, Kimmy's going through her battle of she was diagnosed with breast cancer. So she's completed her treatments and radiation, everything, breast cancer free. She's in remission with that, but her husband has been like supporting her, but it's been like a hard like if she breathes, he'd be like, "You doing too much." Like he's so worried from the aspect because it's like she's a nurse and all these things, but it's like, why you? You know how stuff happen to people. You're like they're so nice, they have a golden heart, their spirit. You get what I'm saying? They're a good person, and
Hmm.
stuff happens to them that's like could be detrimental, and you're like, why? You get what I'm saying? You don't want to question. God or whatever. But then you just like, why? Out of all people, they say he give his his hardest battles to his strongest soldiers. We don't want to be strong all the time. So it's like, why? Why put somebody who will give and will do this type of burden? But she said with having breast cancer, her libido is non existent. Like, sex is nothing that she thinks of, or she don't feel pretty because, she cut her hair off and stuff. Like, she don't feel herself. She don't feel
Who
like
the hell is that?
Kimmy, the one that you said, is that his twin? The light
Oh,
from
okay.
bald his wife.
They ain't really show her. I
So
didn't see her when I was down
they
there looking.
said, she said her libido's not there, but she knows her husband, and she knows he needs sex. He needs those things.
Oh
So
Lord, she
she,
gave him a hall pass, didn't she?
no, no, no,
Oh.
no. So she does it, but that's where that fake it to make it come from, because
She
she be
fake come?
faking it because she's really not. She don't have the drive for it.
Who the hell she tell that she faking it?
She told him, they was having a conversation,
What did he say?
and he was like, "Wait, hold up. So you telling me you don't be into it? Like when you put your butt up on me and toot it up on me, it's not that you want it. It's more like you want to cuddle." And she was like, "Yeah, I want to cuddle." And he think it's a pass that she wanted. So let's have sex, and she'll do it because she wants her husband to still be pleased,
Oh
but
God.
she's not
Ooh.
in that place and space of pleasure and things. And
Oh
my
man.
biggest question is, that's not uncommon because we have days.
Yeah.
We have days, and it just be like,
Yeah,
all
but
right, I
still
know it's been a couple of days or whatever. Let me go ahead and just get this
get
on and
right.
popping, But it's just the fact that her
These are
drive,
more
because
than
of
days.
health,
She
her
ain't got
health,
no drive for booty tapping.
but she still makes it happen for him, and she just wanted to
Yeah,
let
but how
him
can a
know.
man be sexually motivated to do something when in the back of his mind he has to think when is she really into it and
Well,
when
see,
she's not?
that now that's the problem because he was like, so now I
Because
want to
that
know.
plays on him getting the erection or
So
not,
it's like he was like,
or
now it's
reaching
just,
his
I don't
climax.
want you to do that because
Oh
I'm
hell
thinking you
no.
turned on, so that's what's
Yeah.
turning me on.
Oh
So she
hell.
was like,
That's a lose lose.
"Nee,
That's a
nee."
lose lose, man.
But no, but that's good communication.
Yeah, but now you communicate. She should have kept lying. I think there's certain things you just don't say. Like when you, because now I'm telling you that's going to interfere with, like, I'm telling you, they struggling behind the scenes. We don't know it, but
They're
that's
very
a
transparent. Kimmy is very transparent.
it's certain shit you just don't tell.
She's very
That's
transparent.
like no, don't tell me that we doing it and you and all that shit's fake. Oh hell no. I'm telling you, that's something you're gonna think about. Like, don't tell me. If I don't tell me, don't tell me. I don't want to know. We could be transparent about everything else, but that. Don't tell me that you faked the orgasm. Cause I like the noises too, so I'm listening out for it. I'm listening out for it. The fuck you thought? Hell no, hell no. Cause if she, no, if she not into it, what is it? What is he doing? Like, oh, no, no. Mm-mm.
He said, so you're a good actor, an actress.
She must focus this real hard to get that joint wet.
She's a good actress.
That nigga got a dry dick.
Nobody said all that.
Oh
It's just,
man,
but
that nigga
health.
got a dry
It's her
dick.
health that caused it. It's not like she
Well, she
wanted
need to
it that
smoke some
way.
weed.
No, it's her libido from the breast cancer, and she said she wished people would have told her that going through these things would
So
actually
what could she have
cause.
done to not get breast cancer? Then she had to do that, right?
No, but I'm
Because
just
she had did
saying.
something
She
else.
just saying she wished people would have told her that this is what would happen, so she could have prepared. They could have prepared and figured out.
She can Google this stuff.
She's a nurse, and a lot of people don't be honest about that. That's what she said. People tell you what they want, but they don't tell you the things they should tell you to be honest about. and she wanted people to be aware that if somebody has cancer or something and their drive, it's not you, it's the meds and different things that they're on.
It's me.
Yeah, it's a really that you is me type thing. But it's good that she's still willing to please her husband versus give him a whole pass and he step out and then when she is better, he don't want to come back. Like, nah. You don't do that type of
I'm
stuff.
glad you're confident when she is better. What if she never get better?
Nah, she'll be alright.
So you think this too will pass? This too
Kimmy
shall
gonna be good.
pass?
Kimmy gonna be good. She gonna be
You
good.
sound real confident. You sound confident. This too shall pass. Act like this is a motherfucking cold. This too shall pass.
She'll be alright. So, Sistas is getting on my nerves because Karen is really annoying the hell out of me.
Yeah, I don't think
Like,
she's pregnant
she
at this
ain't
point.
shown the blank paper. She's getting on my nerves.
Like,
and then you pushing up on him.
I feel like
you.
I feel like she's been pregnant for a year.
They thought you was
we've yet
dead.
to see the baby.
So Zach's reaction was like kind of off, but it's still understandable when it comes to the aspect of he thought you was dead. Like, come on now. And for him to sit and explain to you that he loves you because y'all been together, whatever, y'all relationship or whatever, but he is in love with his fiance and you still trying to push up, like, with Fatima.
Telling him to come over
Yeah,
later
what Fatima
did. To her. Why is she launching?
What Fatima did.
She gave her a pass.
Was fine.
But you shouldn't have to keep having. I feel like Fatima had already had a conversation with her about kind of. But Karen planned
on that with this pregnancy.
I don't think it's.
That's the thing.
Listen, and spoiler alert: the way she left that blank ass envelope, that paper in the envelope, and it was blank. I don't think she's pregnant. I think Karen already lost that baby. Because I can't understand a person going through that much stress that she's been going through over the last few episodes and still be pregnant with that child. First of all, every time she got to yell at her assistant about making sure she cut the freaking hot curlers off and make sure she cut everything off before she leave.
She get on my nerves.
The stress that goes into that, she should have been fired. But anyway, the stress that she has to put on herself to make sure she go behind and check her assistant to make sure she's doing everything, it's just too much, man, for me to really believe. She wants
Zach back. That's all it is.
But she want him back now because he's the man that she always wanted, that he wasn't.
But she didn't have the patience for him to get to that point. And now it's like he got to that point and now he's with somebody else and she feel like Fatima's reaping what she worked on and what she worked for him to get to where he's at. And that happens, but it would have been more understanding and respectful if you respect those boundaries just like you wanted him to respect the boundaries of you and a preacher dude type situation. But Karen just get on my nerves. And with that pregnant stuff people play on because they pregnant, can't nobody do. Ain't nobody gonna hurt the baby if you get smacked. Like, if somebody smack, that ain't gonna hurt the baby.
Karen
as long as you don't fall.
Karen is giving
Karen
that she need a therapist because she is really struggling right now and coping with Zach being this man that he is right now. He's really struggling.
She wants the Zach attack back. Yeah. But they get on my nerves.
Zach better not do that because Zach, he getting pregnant. He getting all types of people pregnant. So apparently. Yeah. You can read that out. I was gonna read it, but you can read it.
So let's get into how people view you, or how we view, as they say, how we view people.
Yeah.
And let's talk a little bit about it, and let's get some comment and feedbacks in the posts and comments when he posts the snippets, so we can talk about this because it actually it's an eye opener. So a girl laughed when a teacher wrote a wrong answer on the board, but never expected him to do this. One day a teacher wrote the following board. He said 9 times 1 equals 7. 9 times 2, 18, times 3, 27, times 4, 36. All the way down to 10, right? He had everything right except for that one answer. When he was done, He looked at the students and they all laughing at him because of the first equation, which was wrong. And then the teacher said, I wrote the first answer wrong on purpose because I wanted you to learn something important. This was for you to know how the world out here will treat you. You can see that I wrote all the rest of the answers, all 9 were right, but that one was wrong. And not one time did you congratulate me on the others that were right.
So he got 90%, which is
But
passing in this world.
you laughed and criticized on that one thing that I did wrong. And the lesson is the world will never appreciate the good you do a million times and will criticize you on the wrong thing you do. So don't be this. So it puts you in a place that you don't need to be discouraged. Um, when you get one thing wrong or do things, it's just says always rise above all the laughter and criticism and stay strong. That speaks volumes because we as humans and people, we do things where we laugh at stuff or we like, yeah, prime example. Yeah, he cheated. Okay, he cheated. He cheated at one time, whatever the situation, but he did so much other things right. He did all these things. And if that's not a deal breaker for the person that he's with, why is that your problem? But what about all the things that people do right? Like you're human, things happen, mistakes, falls, setbacks and things. But the biggest thing is to stay in your path, your focus, and continue and do what you are supposed to do, want to do, strive to do, thrive to do, and not let that one thing that people are laughing at and holding on keep you from being great. So, with that, everybody take that step back and look at the one thing that everybody keep drilling you about, keep bringing up years later or throwing out there, whatever, but never give you your flowers for the things that you are doing, the great things that you have going on, what's making you the person you are today, what's keeping you in your faith and your walk and not stepping back in the place of smacking the shit out of people and stuff when they get on your nerves or if they blink at you wrong or say something wrong or mess your order up or think they doing something because you're an establishment that just ain't that time and the place. He's still working on me, y'all. Excuse me. But stay focused and don't let that one thing put you off track of what you got going on. And with that, this has been episode
No, I'm not finished.
Oh, you want to turn? See?
Hey, you gonna get to have your opinion about that and just gonna cut it off.
Hey, babe. You still here? I'm sorry.
That's hate. That's straight up hate. I swear to God, that's hate.
Why you always say I'm hating?
No,
Why
that was
I hate
hate.
you?
That was hate. And I'm still gonna say what I gotta say, but that was hate.
I forgot about it. You were still
I
right here.
clearly.
I'm sorry.
But no, when I read that this morning, right, I got to thinking about my situation with CVS and how I lost my job, right? I had saved that, not just at the company, but I had put that store in a situation where everybody who were getting bonuses was going to get their bonus because I got them under their string number, right? I I had built relationships with shoplifters where they were like respecting the situation for my 9 to 10 hours I was inside that store. They knew that they wasn't gonna get robbed blind. That's just based off of relationships that I built, right? And the reason that I was terminated was, yeah, it was a violation. But at the same token, I had to do this because at the end of the day, I'm a father first before business. I'm a father first. So when you claim that I manipulated time and you were aware that I was doing this, that bothered me. But I had to sit back and think about it. Maybe that wasn't what God wanted for me.
Cause you saw what happened.
So he pushed me, yeah, because a year later now the store is closed completely. There's no one in that place. You got to think about it. And I can sit back and say, man, that store is closed now because I wasn't there and I wasn't doing what I was doing. So when you sit back and you think about your impact, you got to think, you got to really just think about like all the good that you did. And for me, if you go through your life and you're a 90 percenter, you don't got to be perfect. God doesn't expect you to be perfect. Life doesn't expect you to be perfect. But if we go through the world doing 90% of good and 10% bad, that seems like a win for me. And I just think for everybody. So if you are a 90 percenter, keep being a 90 percenter. You should keep striving though to go towards the 100%. But if your best is 90%, man, just keep doing your best, because at the end of the day, as long as you give everything that you can, can't nobody hate on you. I was just thinking about another thing. Like, I went to school with somebody, and this said person, he was mentally challenged. He wasn't in the best mental space. I knew at the time that he had a grandmother back then when we were in school. I didn't know too much about everybody else in his family, but this man now is homeless, right? And and to a degree, right? I feel bad every time I see him, but I make it my business, right? If I got money, if I can go upstairs and see that food ain't been picked up, speak with the manager, I give him that, and it's because I know him. I also think about the time where I clowned his ass, and we always make jokes about it. So I don't really talk to the guys in the group chat, but they all were aware of this person. They all knew him, and so the other day, one of the guys posted a picture because they saw him on the train. And my first question was, when you saw him, what did you do? Did you just take a picture of him, or did you stop and acknowledge him? Because just because he's homeless doesn't necessarily mean he's out of sight, out of mind. I remember when I first saw him, because I didn't know he was homeless, but I remember when I first saw him, the first thing he was saying, "Oh, hey, Mike." Now I haven't seen this person in since we left high school, but the fact that he's in his space and he's going through whatever he's going through that put him in a position to be homeless, and he remembered my name and he knew who he was. Every time I see him, every single time I see him, if I got it, I give it to him, because I know I knew who I was in high school and what I did to him. So I already know what the world is currently doing to him now. So I want to make it my business not to pile on someone's uh down moments just because they in the worst, because it could be me. And I would expect if someone knew me and I was going through something, to help me out. So that was why it was important to me when he posted that picture of him on the metro train, to check him first and ask him what did he do. And he probably lied to him. He probably didn't help him at all. He probably didn't give him a dime. But folks understand where I stand as a man first. And that's about checking. That's what I go back to, checking your friends when they doing shit that they shouldn't be doing, that doesn't represent our friendship or doesn't represent the values that I have when I associate myself with people. And I've always been that way. So man, if you spend your life, that's why I say, if you spend your life being 90%, man, be the best 90% in the world. Because you're gonna find so much happiness in doing that than trying to be the best person or trying to pretend to be somebody that you're not. Now, thank you for listening and watching episode 114 of the podcast with the wife. We really appreciate you. We'll save our comments and stuff for the next episode. This has been a long episode. A long episode, and we really talked about some good stuff, man. But thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Peace.